Shout out to Jamal Ross for sending me this story. He actually sent it to my email and he titled it AAPI Hypocrisy. And I completely understand where he's going with this based on just the first couple of things that I've read about this story. So in this picture, you see two people. The one on the left who looks like he is or was a member of a late 90s, early 2000s pop boy band. Name is Dane Kalungi or Kalungi. And on the right is his wife, whose name is Jepsi Amaga Kalungi or Kalungi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the last name correctly. But anyway, this man, he moved to the U.S. Most likely he is an immigrant of some sort. And he got here and married her, who apparently she must be an American citizen of some sort, of Asian descent, as you can clearly tell. And he married her, most likely to get citizenship. And now she's dead because he killed her. He killed her by strangling her and then burying her body. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this article and give my take on it. Police believe Dane Kalungi strangled his wife, Jepsi Amaga Kalungi, during some type of domestic disturbance before burying her body in an unknown location and telling the missing woman's mother she had gone to visit friends. The husband of a Colorado Springs woman has been arrested more than 2 years after she mysteriously vanished. So this was from 2 years ago. This didn't just happen. This happened about 2 years ago. And they're just now getting him. Dane Kalungi, age 38, is now facing charges of first-degree murder in the death of his wife, Jepsi Amaga Kalungi. Colorado Springs Police Lieutenant James Sokolick told Oxygen that Dane was arrested Wednesday in Albuquerque, New Mexico, after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Jepsi's family reported her missing on April 4, 2019, after her family and friends hadn't heard from the 26-year-old in several weeks. She always talked to me, her mother Margie Amaga told KOAA. She always messaged me, so I wondered at the time why she's not online. Sokolick said investigators were able to determine that no one had spoken or heard from Jepsi after March 20th, 2019. They now believe Dane killed his wife and then hid the body. With the evidence right now, it appears that there was some sort of domestic disturbance, and at some point during that time, we believe Dane strangled Jepsi and then later buried her body in an unknown location. He declined to provide any details about what led investigators to draw that conclusion, but said authorities had executed about 36 search warrants during the 2-year investigation and conducted multiple interviews that led them to identify Dane as the primary suspect in the slaying. Detectives allegedly recovered numerous items of physical evidence during their searches, according to a press release from the department. Jepsi, who was originally from the Philippines, moved to the United States in 2017 after meeting her future husband online and falling in love with him, her mother said. So before I go any further, I have to go back and correct just a little minor detail. He's not the one that came from the States. She came to the States from another place. It was her that came here. She's not the American-born quote-unquote citizen. He is. So she came here and she thought she found her white knight. And it said in 2017, they got married, and 2 years later, she's now dead. Because of something she met him online, and jet set it from the Philippines all the way here. And now look at where she's at. That's why a lot of people don't trust them online dating apps. And then on top of that, not only did she meet him online, but she met him online from she's all the way in another country, on another continent. It's not like they were both here in the States. The couple got married a short time later. Margie told KOAA that Dane told her after her daughter disappeared that Jepsi had gone to visit friends either in the Philippines, Mexico, or Chicago. I just want to know if she's still alive or dead, she told KKTV shortly after her daughter's disappearance. I don't know where she is, why she's gone. Sokolick said the case remains very much an active investigation. We are dedicated to finding the answers to find exactly what happened. Investigators are still searching for the 26-year-old's remains. This is a horrible thing to have, especially a mother, not to know where her daughter is and what happened to her. So we're hoping is some sort of information that will be at least bring, I'll never say closure because that doesn't happen in this sort of situation, but we could bring some sort of understanding of what happened and hopefully locate Jepsi's body and be able to bring that back for her family. So basically they know that she's dead, but they don't know where her remains is at because apparently Either he done forgot where he buried her, or he's not saying where she buried her. You gotta think, he killed her 2 years ago, back in 2019. They're just now arresting him for the crime 2 years later, over 2 years later. And a lot could happen in 2 years. And they said her remains. So either he forgot where he probably didn't forget where she's been buried, or her remains may not even be there anymore. Because who knows? You never know. I don't know, because it doesn't say how deep he must have buried her. And it doesn't specify where she was buried at. Now, with that being said, I'm curious, is the AAPI, since you know this is what led me to do this video, is the AAPI going to come out and say something against this man? After all, she is of Asian descent. She's directly from the Philippines, or she was from the Philippines. She came over here looking for love and thought she found her white knight in shining armor, and she ended up finding a crook who turned out to be a murderer. I mean, they have smoke for all of us. I'm just curious. And the thing is, it's like stories like this keep piling up all the time lately. And you know, if you've seen between my videos and Seiji Hito videos, we've been like almost doing like a tennis match of these type of stories for the last couple of weeks now. It's rare now that you're hearing that so-called people, that allegedly black people are quote unquote attacking Asians. You haven't really heard that narrative in the last almost month or so. But this keeps popping up constantly over and over and over again. But if they don't want to talk about it, that's fine, because that's what we're here for.